The truth is right in front of you. People aren't just competing with you, they're extremely competitive when it comes to you. But make no mistake, this intense rivalry doesn't mean you've reached some hollow celebrity status. It means something far more powerful. You've earned genuine respect. They're not challenging you because of fame or clout. They're coming for you because you've set the bar so high that beating you actually means something. They don't respect celebrities, they respect forces. And that's exactly what you've become. Their competition isn't flattery, it's fear, disguised as ambition. Remember that when they're battling for your position, what's being transmitted to you right now goes beyond conventional wisdom, transcends common knowledge, exceeds typical understanding. The universe has chosen to speak directly to you right now, and you better listen, because what's happening around you is no accident, no coincidence, no random series of events. People aren't competing with you because you're famous. They compete because you are respected. Let that sink in for a moment. Let it crash through your consciousness like a meteor breaking through Earth's atmosphere. The competition you feel around you, that tension, that friction, that heat, isn't generated because they think you're some passing celebrity. No, they compete because they respect your power, they fear your potential, they recognize your force. True power isn't about being in the spotlight, it's about having an undeniable presence. The atmosphere changes, the air becomes electric. That's not fame, that's respect. Look around you, notice how they move, how they adjust, how they recalibrate their entire existence when you enter their orbit. The silent envy, the desperate imitation, the strategic opposition, all of it, every single bit, is proof of your influence. They don't compete with the insignificant. They don't challenge the irrelevant. They don't oppose the powerless. They compete with forces that cannot be ignored, and right now, that force is you. Your mere existence demands attention. Your voice carries weight not because it's loud, but because it's authentic. Your ideas spread not because they're trendy, but because they're transformative. You aren't just taking up space in this world. You're actively reshaping it with every step you take. You're minding your business, walking your path, focused on your mission. And suddenly, without warning, without invitation, without consent, others have turned your journey into their race. You don't compete, yet people are in a race you never signed up for. See how they scramble to outdo you, how they strain to outshine you, how they struggle to outperform you, all while you simply exist, simply create, simply be. They copy your moves, your exact blueprint, your precise calculations, your specific methodology. They mirror your style, your unique aesthetic, your particular flavor, your signature approach. They steal your words, your powerful language, your compelling narratives, your transformative expressions. But notice something crucial here. This isn't admiration, it's desperation. These aren't fans celebrating your greatness. These are competitors attempting to surpass your position. They don't want to stand beside you. They want to replace you. Their actions reveal everything. The way they study your every move, the way they dissect your every success, the way they analyze your every strategy. This isn't casual interest. This is competitive obsession. And here's what makes it even more revealing. The competition isn't equal. It's not balanced. It's not fair. It's you against many, one force facing multiple opponents, a singular power confronting numerous challenges. When the universe puts you in a position where many compete against one, where the majority focuses on a minority, where the crowd targets the individual, that's not celebrity. That's respect. They don't gang up on the weak. They don't unite against the powerless. They don't combine forces to challenge the insignificant. They mobilize against what they respect. Here's what terrifies them most about you. You can't be replicated. The source of their fear runs deeper than conscious thought, more profound than rational understanding, more primal than logical comprehension. They feel it in their bones, sense it in their marrow, experience it in their blood. They think success is a formula they can decode, a pattern they can memorize, a system they can duplicate. They believe if they just study you closely enough, if they just mimic you precisely enough, if they just copy you exactly enough, they can become you. But what you possess cannot be replicated, cannot be imitated, cannot be duplicated. Because your power doesn't come from technique, it comes from truth. Your influence doesn't stem from methodology, it flows from authenticity. Your impact doesn't result from strategy, it emerges from essence. They scramble to mimic your essence, unaware that authenticity cannot be purchased, cannot be borrowed, cannot be stolen, cannot be faked. Watch how they try. Observe their desperate attempts, see their frantic efforts. They buy the same tools, adopt the same approaches, use the same words, follow the same paths, yet even in their best attempts, their most dedicated efforts, their most committed trials, their most focused endeavors, they always fall short, always miss the mark, always lack the spark. Because what makes you powerful is internal, not external. What gives you authority is soul, not surface. What grants you influence is depth, not display. This is why they can copy your methods but never capture your magic. This is why they can mimic your moves but never match your magnetism. This is why they can duplicate your decisions but never duplicate your dominance. And this reality, this undeniable truth, this inescapable fact, this unchangeable principle drives them crazy. They cannot understand why their perfect imitation produces imperfect results, why their exact replication yields inexact outcomes, why their precise duplication creates imprecise impact. The answer is both simple and profound. Authenticity cannot be counterfeited. Your respect comes from being real in a world full of replicas, genuine in an environment of imitations, authentic in a landscape of copies. And that authenticity, that uncompromising realness, that unwavering genuineness, that unbreakable authenticity is what makes them compete so desperately against you. Make no mistake, there is a war being fought against you right now. The battlefield exists in realms both seen and unseen. In the physical domain where bodies move and actions speak. In the digital landscape where words travel and images spread. In the energetic dimension where intentions manifest and frequencies resonate. Not with weapons of steel and gunpowder, but with weapons of envy and opposition. Not on battlefields of dirt and stone, but on battlefields of influence and perception. Not with armies in uniform, but with individuals in disguise. This war wasn't announced, wasn't declared, wasn't proclaimed. It began silently, secretly, strategically. Old friends, people who once stood beside you, once supported you, once championed you, have transformed into competitors, ex-supporters, individuals who once celebrated your success, once applauded your achievements, once promoted your advancement, have morphed into challengers. Even strangers, people you've never met, never spoken to, never interacted with, have positioned themselves as opponents. They study you with the dedication of military strategists analyzing an opposing force. They strategize against you with the commitment of generals planning a critical campaign. They move against you with the precision of soldiers executing a vital mission, yet despite their planning, despite their preparation, despite their precision, they still fail, still fall short, still miss their objective, because their fight isn't with you, it's with their own inadequacies. Their battle isn't against your presence, it's against their own absence. Their war isn't targeting your power, it's exposing their own weakness. They thought they could replace you, as if your position was merely a spot to be filled rather than a force to be reckoned with. All they did was expose their obsession, reveal their fixation, demonstrate their preoccupation. This silent war, this unannounced conflict, this undeclared battle, this unacknowledged struggle, isn't evidence of your celebrity status. Celebrities face fans and critics. You're facing competitors and opponents. That's not fame, That's respect. They don't wage wars against the inconsequential. They don't battle the unimportant. They don't fight the irrelevant. They wage war against what they respect. When direct competition fails, when head-to-head challenges fall short, when straightforward opposition proves ineffective, when open rivalry proves unsuccessful, they resort to darker tactics. These tactics emerge from shadow realms, from hidden dimensions, from concealed spaces where truth gets twisted and reality gets warped. Look carefully at the pattern, observe the sequence, study the progression. They cannot defeat you, so they try to redefine you. Unable to overcome your strength, they attempt to reframe it as weakness. Unable to match your influence, they strive to rebrand it as manipulation. Unable to equal your impact, they work to relabel it as harm. The smear campaigns begin. The whispers start. The rumors spread. The accusations fly. The stories circulate. The narratives form. Suddenly, you're facing allegations that distort your reality, claims that twist your truth, stories that pervert your experience. Watch how the staged victimhood unfolds. See how they position themselves as casualties of your success. Observe how they present themselves as sufferers of your achievement. Notice how they portray themselves as victims of your advancement. They were hurt by your progress. They were damaged by your growth. They were harmed by your improvement. It's all an attempt, a desperate attempt, a calculated attempt, a strategic attempt to lower your standing, diminish your status, reduce your stature. Because they couldn't rise to your level, they tried to drag you down to theirs. Because they couldn't match your elevation, they worked to decrease your altitude. Because they couldn't reach your height, they strived to cut you down to size. But here's what they don't understand. The real ones see through it all. Those with genuine discernment, with actual wisdom, with true insight, with authentic understanding, don't fall for manufactured narratives. Don't believe fabricated stories. Don't accept artificial accounts. They recognize smear campaigns for what they are. Desperation disguised as justice. They identify fake outrage for what it is. Competition masked as concern. They see public attacks for what they are. Respect manifesting as fear. These tactics, these underhanded strategies, these deceptive approaches, these manipulative methods aren't used against celebrities. Celebrities face gossip and tabloids. You're facing calculated character assassination attempts. That's not fame, that's respect. They don't strategically smear the insignificant. They don't carefully defame the powerless. They don't methodically attack the irrelevant. They systematically target what they respect. Look, you already know the game is rigged, and if you're paying attention, you know the walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. When you live by the day at the market's command, where profit and property rule the land, to be heard, to be held, to be dealt a fair hand. These are the things that a people demand, and we hear you. The Obsidian Inner Order has paywalls, yes. Those who stand with us, who fuel this mission, they give us ammunition to fight the Archons, to push back against the machine, to go deeper, to uncover more. And as our thank you, paid members get access to a 1-hour live, personalized, weekly group tarot reading, guidance, insight and clarity for the road ahead. But kicking a man for being down on the floor, that's something we cannot ignore. That's why, starting today, you can steal the Astral Atom exclusive daily newsletter for free. No paywall, no catch. Just join the Patreon free tier. Link in the description. This is the start of our conversation with you, and it's bi-directional. You can reply to any email we send you. We'll read it, we'll hear you, and we'll do our best to get an answer to you from the universe itself. If you can support, we need you. If you can't, take what's free. The Obsidian Inner Order is open. Now, let's get back to work. Understand this distinction, this critical difference, this crucial separation, this vital contrast. Fame is not respect. Let's break this down to its cosmic essence, to its fundamental truth, to its core reality. Fame is about recognition. Respect is about reverence. Fame is about being known. Respect is about being feared. Fame is about popularity. Respect is about power. They want to believe they're competing with a celebrity, with someone whose value comes from visibility, whose worth derives from recognition, whose significance stems from popularity. But they're not competing with a celebrity. They're competing with a force that doesn't need spotlights to be seen, a force that doesn't need stages to be felt, a force that doesn't need platforms to be experienced. You don't need to be famous to have influence. Don't need to be celebrated to have impact. Don't need to be recognized to have power. Because true power, real power, authentic power, undeniable power is not in a title, not in a position, not in a status. It's in presence. This is why, even in silence, you shake rooms. Even without speaking, you change atmospheres. Even without action, you alter dynamics. Your mere existence, your simple being, your basic presence, your fundamental reality is enough to disrupt their equilibrium, disturb their balance, destabilize their position. This reality frustrates them endlessly, confounds them completely, baffles them thoroughly, because in their mind, power should come with fanfare. Authority should arrive with announcement. Influence should appear with introduction. Yet here you are, perhaps without traditional markers of success, perhaps without conventional symbols of achievement, perhaps without typical signs of advancement, commanding respect without demanding attention. This paradox, this apparent contradiction, this seeming inconsistency, this perceived incongruity is what makes you such a threat to them. You've achieved what they thought impossible. Respect without dependency. Respect that doesn't rely on their approval. Respect that doesn't depend on their acceptance. Respect that doesn't hinge on their acknowledgement. That's not celebrity. That's sovereignty. And they don't compete with the dependent. They don't challenge the needy. They don't oppose the reliant. They compete with what they respect. Here's the cosmic truth they cannot escape. The universal reality, the divine principle, the natural law. Justice always comes. This isn't wishful thinking, not hopeful imagination, not desperate fantasy. This is cosmic mathematics, universal physics, spiritual science. Not through forced intervention, not through manipulated outcomes, not through manufactured consequences. Justice comes naturally, organically, inevitably. They wanted to take your essence, to extract your energy, to absorb your power, to steal your force, but they could never hold it, never contain it, never possess it. Because essence cannot be taken, it can only be embodied. Energy cannot be stolen, it can only be generated. Power cannot be seized, it can only be cultivated. This is why their attempts to appropriate your strength always fail. Why their efforts to capture your influence always falter. Why their strategies to harness your impact always collapse. The truth, the undeniable truth, the unalterable truth, the inescapable truth always prevails. Real power cannot be stolen, it is embodied. Cannot be transferred, it is expressed. Cannot be imitated, it is manifested. Watch what happens to those who tried to compete with you unjustly. Observe the outcomes for those who attempted to replace you unfairly. Notice the results for those who worked to undermine you dishonestly. They are left chasing ghosts, pursuing shadows, hunting phantoms, tracking specters, while you continue to rise, continue to advance, continue to ascend. Not because you focused on defeating them, not because you concentrated on overcoming them, not because you dedicated yourself to conquering them, but because you remained focused on your path, your unique journey, your specific mission, your particular purpose, while they remained fixated on yours. This natural justice, this organic balancing, this inevitable equilibrating, this automatic harmonizing, isn't evidence of your celebrity. Celebrities face consequences engineered by public opinion. You're witnessing consequences orchestrated by universal law. That's not fame, that's respect. The universe doesn't balance scales for the insignificant. doesn't restore order for the unimportant, doesn't enforce justice for the irrelevant. The universe maintains equilibrium for what it respects. Before reaching the final conclusion, you must understand something profound about your position in this universal drama. Your rise isn't accidental, isn't coincidental, isn't arbitrary. It follows cosmic law. When a star reaches critical mass, it doesn't ask permission to shine. When a volcano builds sufficient pressure, it doesn't request approval to erupt. When lightning gathers adequate charge, it doesn't seek consent to strike. Natural forces manifest when conditions demand it. Your position of respect, this placement of power, this situation of significance, this standing of strength, emerged because the collective needed it to emerge. The universe doesn't create forces without purpose, doesn't generate energy without function, doesn't produce power without intention. You stand where you stand because cosmic balance required you there. This is why their attempts to displace you always fail, why their efforts to replace you always falter, why their strategies to remove you always collapse. They're not just fighting against another person, they're fighting against universal design. They're not merely opposing another individual, they're opposing cosmic arrangement. They're not simply challenging another competitor, they're challenging natural order. And in that battle, that futile struggle, that impossible contest, that unwinnable war, they will always lose. Not because you're more talented, though you might be. Not because you're more dedicated, though that could be true. Not because you're more strategic, though that's possibly accurate. But because you're aligned with something greater than individual effort, something beyond personal striving, something transcending human endeavor. You're synchronized with cosmic purpose. This alignment, this harmony with larger forces, this congruence with greater powers, this accordance with universal principles is what truly separates you from those competing against you. They fight for position. You embody purpose. They struggle for status. You represent significance. They battle for recognition. You manifest reality. The inevitable rise of your cosmic significance isn't something they can prevent, can't impede, can't obstruct. They might as well try to stop gravity from pulling, try to prevent water from flowing, try to keep fire from burning. Natural forces cannot be permanently suppressed. Now you understand, truly understand, deeply understand, completely understand the real reason behind the competition surrounding you. Their competition is not proof of your fame, it is proof of your respect. Their obsession with surpassing you is not evidence of your celebrity, it is evidence that you've already won. Their fixation on replacing you doesn't demonstrate your popularity, it demonstrates your power. This revelation, this profound insight, this deep understanding, this transformative awareness should change how you perceive everything happening around you. The opposition isn't personal, it's positional. The competition isn't individual, it's institutional. The challenges aren't random, they're respectful. They compete because you represent something they wish they embodied, something they desire to manifest, something they aspire to become. Let them race against shadows, against phantoms they created, against projections they formed, against images they constructed, while you remain the standard, the benchmark, the reference point. Let them exhaust themselves competing with an illusion of you, a distorted version, a misrepresented image, a flawed perception, while you continue evolving beyond their comprehension. Let them fight over your past position, the space you once occupied, the place you previously filled, the spot you formerly held, while you advance to heights they haven't yet imagined. Your role isn't to engage in their competition, their frantic race, their desperate contest, their anxious rivalry. Your responsibility is to understand what their competition reveals. You have earned something far more valuable than fame. You have acquired something far more lasting than celebrity. You have attained something far more powerful than popularity. You have gained respect. Not the shallow respect that comes from agreement, Not the superficial respect that stems from admiration, not the temporary respect that flows from achievement, but the deep respect that emerges from threat, the genuine respect that rises from fear, the authentic respect that originates from recognition of power. This is the respect that changes atmospheres, alters trajectories, transforms realities. This is the respect that commands attention without seeking it, demands acknowledgement without requesting it, requires recognition without pursuing it. This is the respect that generates competition from those who would otherwise ignore you, creates opposition from those who would otherwise avoid you, produces challenges from those who would otherwise evade you. So stand firm in this cosmic truth. People aren't extremely competitive with you because you're a celebrity. They're extremely competitive with you because you're respected. And in the grand cosmic order, the universal hierarchy, the divine arrangement, the natural structure, respect outranks fame every single time. Respect endures when fame fades. Respect remains when popularity passes. Respect persists when celebrity ceases. Remember this truth. Embody this reality. Live this principle. Because when you truly understand that their competition proves your respect, not your celebrity, you stop seeking validation and start recognizing your validation is already happening through their competition. The universe has spoken. The message is clear. The revelation is complete. You are not celebrated, you are respected, and that makes all the difference in the cosmic order of things. Recognize your power, acknowledge your force, accept your respect. The competition around you isn't diminishing your position, it's confirming it.